Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day. My name is Dani. Welcome back to my channel if you're new. It's so great to have you here. I'm super glad you clicked on this video and I can't wait to share with you my favorite self tanner of literally all time. So today's video is a collaboration with Loving Tan and I've got a bunch of goodies over here to show you guys. Now this video is a little bit sentimental for me because looking back, my first video I ever made on YouTube, I think in 2014, was a Loving Tan video, and that video blew up and it did like really well. So yeah, it's just crazy that it's been all those years now. Obviously we're almost in 2020 and I'm still using Loving Tan, so it is absolutely my ride or die self tanner. I've used it for so long, I've followed them along the way and tried out their new products that they've brought up more recently, and honestly nothing compares to this tan, you guys. Let me know if you have seen my original Loving Tan video, because if you've been a long time follower you may have seen a few of my videos like that. I tend to do like a tanning routine video every year or so, because things tend to change and you learn and pick up new tips and tricks along the way. So I'll be showing you guys a few new things that I didn't previously used to do with my tan. And I'm giving away to one of my lucky followers a full Loving Tan set of all of their products. So if you're wanting to give Loving Tan a go and grab yourself some freebies, then I've just put up that competition on my Instagram page now. So I'll leave it linked here and then down below in the description as well. So if you want to get your hands on some Loving Tan products, definitely go and check that out. I would say I am a bit of a self-tanning queen, bit of an expert if you will, or actually I don't know if I'd go that far to say expert, but I have done it for such a long time, so I feel like I do know what I'm doing now, and I'm honestly just the biggest advocate for self-tanning. If you can protect your skin, you know, no tan from the sun is a healthy tan. It's all skin damage, and melanoma here in New Zealand and Australia is one of the biggest cancers that people get, and it can be avoided simply by protecting your skin, wearing sunscreen, and you can still get that gorgeous golden glow by using a self tanner. Another reason that I really do love using a self tanner is that they have proven that about 80% of premature aging is due to sun damage, and that causes wrinkles. So if you want to have amazing skin when you get older, the best thing you can possibly do is wear your sunscreen. I wear an SPF 30 on my face every single day, and it means it's going to delay, hopefully, the aging process for me, and I'm going to have beautiful, glowing, healthy skin right through my lifetime. But if you are going to self tan, you do want to make sure you're getting it from a really high quality brand. You don't want to cheap out on a brand that isn't very good quality, because often a lot of those brands have really low quality ingredients in them. They might have alcohols and things like that in them that will strip your skin, dry out your skin, and that's not very nice, is it? So we definitely want to be using a tan that has great ingredients in it, that's going to actually nourish our skin and make it feel good, because a lot of the time ingredients in self tanners can be pretty drying. So Loving Tan is a cruelty-free and vegan tan that's made in Australia, and the formula is fantastic. So with Loving Tan you're definitely going to achieve a natural golden brown looking tan, and it's not going to be orange. So one of the reasons for this is that if you know anything about fake tan, first off you'll know that the ingredient DHA is what enables your skin to actually change color. So that's kind of the core component, if you will, in any self tanner. And lots of companies have DHA, but they do skip out on more of the expensive quality ingredients that enable the skin to actually have that really nice natural looking color. So not only does Loving Tan contain DHA, which is obviously super important, but it also contains erythrulose, I think it's called. Hopefully I pronounced that word right. And basically that is a more expensive tanning ingredient that a lot of the companies don't use, and that will be why you see certain fake tans being a lot more orange in color. And this particular ingredient is what is responsible for making sure the tan is really natural looking and has that beautiful olive color, so it won't go orange. And that is absolutely what we all love, don't we? Because you don't want it to be obvious at all that you have a fake tan. You want it to look beautiful and natural, like it just came back from Bora Bora. Okay, so now I'm going to take you guys through my steps that I go through to achieve the perfect fake tan. So it's definitely a process. It's not just rub on your tan and off you go. Sadly, it's not quite that easy, but if you take care of your tan and take care of your skin, it's going to really have great effects for the longevity of your tan. I'll kind of compare it to working out as well. You know, if you're like working out hard every single day, but you're not having proper recovery, you're not sleeping well, you're not having your protein shakes, you're not stretching, you're not foam rolling, then you're not going to see the best results. And it's the same thing with self tanning. If you're just doing the self tan, but you're not moisturizing, you're not exfoliating, you're not taking care of your skin, you're not going to see the best results either. So let's get into it. I'll show you my favorite products from Loving Tan. First off, we have got the tan removing and skin polishing glove. This little guy here is going to be your absolute best friend when it comes to exfoliating your skin and getting it prepped for the self tan. This is genuinely the best, and I'm not just saying that, this is the best exfoliating glove I've ever used. And what I love about it is that it has two different sides. This side is a lot more rough and a lot more coarse, so it's going to be really good for getting off those kind of dry patches, things like your elbows. If you've got a bit of tan remaining there, that's going to really get in well. And then it's also got a pink side, which is a little bit smoother and a bit less coarse for those more sensitive areas on the body. This has been guaranteed in my shower for like the past, how many years has it been? Oh my gosh, wow, I've used Loving Tan for 5 years now, so one of these bad boys has guaranteed pretty much been in my shower throughout that time. So you always want to exfoliate before you self tan, particularly those dry places, because if you don't exfoliate those really well, the tan tends to cling to dry areas. So if you've got dry skin, you definitely want to make sure you exfoliate. This is a bit of a random tip, but if you do want your tan to be absolutely as dark as possible, then I would still exfoliate, but go a little bit lighter on the exfoliation, because your tan will cling onto, like in a good way, it will hold onto the drier parts of your skin. It will hold onto your skin a bit better if it hasn't been completely rubbed off, if that kind of makes sense. When you've got a brand new fresh layer of skin on and you try to put tan over that, sometimes it doesn't go as dark as what it would if you went a little bit lighter on the exfoliation, is what I've found. So if that's important to you, that's something I'd recommend doing. And you also don't want to be too aggressive. Some people go super hardcore when it comes to rubbing and exfoliating the skin down, but seriously, you can just be gentle and it will get the job done. So before you apply your self tanner, you want to make sure you moisturize any of those dry parts of your skin. So for me, that's just my hands and feet, my elbows, sometimes kind of around my armpits, and my knees, just to make sure the tan doesn't cling too much to those particular areas. So when it comes to actually applying the tan, this is the tanning mitt that I use. This tanning mitt is honestly beautiful. Like, oh my god, it's so soft. I wish you guys could feel this right now. It's really great because it has a waterproof kind of shell on the inside, so your hand isn't going to get tan on it, but then the outside is so luxurious, super soft. It's a beautiful velvet kind of texture, so when you're rubbing that all over your body, it's super smooth and makes the application really nice. If you're not using one of these mitts when you're self tanning currently, I cannot recommend using one more. It will completely change the application of your tan. So if you do want to pick up one of these gorgeous applicator mitts for yourself, as I've said, this is literally the best tanning applicator mitt I've ever used on the market. It just feels insane, like honestly incredible. If you do want to pick one of these up, then you can use my discount code, and that is just my name, Dani Watt. So just enter that at the checkout. If you're going to purchase any of Loving Tan's products, you can pick one of their mitts up for free by me. So I'll show you my favorite tan from Loving Tan, and that would be the 2 Hour Express. So this is the 2 Hour Express in dark. Loving Tan actually has a guide color built into it. So all that means is basically when you're putting it on the skin, skin, you are going to see a change in colour instantly, and that just really helps out because you can tell exactly where you've put the tan, and then you can see the patches that you may have missed and need to top up over. But just remember, don't worry too much if the tan looks a little bit streaky or there's lines or things like that. As long as you've covered all the surface area of the skin that you want to tan, when you wash it off the next day, it will look beautiful and all those kind of lines or marks will definitely go away. So just keep that in mind. And also, it's not about rubbing it into the skin. You're not trying to rub it in super hard like you would with a sunscreen or something that you're trying to get to sink into the skin. You're simply trying to layer it nicely on top of the skin. I used to use not the 2 Hour Express, but I used to always use the ultra dark tan, which is the one that takes about 8 hours to develop. Now, I really do prefer the 2 Hour Express, so I definitely recommend this to you guys if you're wanting a tan that is going to dry a little bit faster. This guy, it dries almost instantly, and I personally cannot stand the like sticky fake tan feeling. It just drives me nuts and I want it off my skin. But this dries really fast, so you don't have to worry about that. The other reason that I prefer the 2 Hour Express over the Deluxe Bronzing Mousse is because this is obviously a lot faster. So you can put it on and your skin is going to develop to a really nice, beautiful dark bronze color in literally 2 hours. And then you can wash it off, compared to, you know, the Deluxe Bronzing Mousse, you're going to have to sleep in it usually, which I don't really personally love sleeping in my tan. So, but if you do, then that's totally fine. It's still a great option. I have slept in this tan a few times, and I personally think it actually goes darker than the darkest color they have in the Deluxe Bronzing Mousse. So yeah, 2 Hour Express, absolutely my favorite of the foaming tans that they have for sure. Super easy to use, yeah, and paired with the matte, honestly, the perfect combo. Another tip that I have kind of learned along the way that I didn't used to do was with tanning the hands. Let's have a look at it. So I actually just tanned with this exact tanner just last night, so you can kind of see the result. What used to happen when I'd self tan is you see like my knuckles here and in my fingers, these little bits, they would go super dark. Like, it was not a good look, but it's really hard to avoid. So when it comes to using the mitt for tanning your hands is honestly one of the hardest things, but I've definitely gotten better at it with time. So what I usually do is apply a bit of moisturizer to my hands, in particular my knuckles, because I know those are the areas that the tan is going to cling to the most. But after that, what I used to do was put my hand into like a claw-like motion and rub in a little bit of the tanner all over my fingers like that. But now what I've realized is when I do that, that actually makes the knuckles really dark, because you're allowing the color to seep into all those little like crevices in the skin and all those skin folds. So when you put your hand back up like this, it's going to really be super dark. So what I do now is I actually keep my hand straight when I'm tanning it, and then I'll kind of just wrap the mitt around each finger and just do a quick little slide across like that, and I find that's just enough product. You don't want to use a lot on your hand, and then that way it's not going to sink into my knuckles and all the little skin folds in my hand. And that just means after it's developed, when you go like this, it will be a little bit white like in between there, but you don't really walk around like, you know, this. You don't really walk around like this anyway, so I'd rather it look a little bit white or a bit strange when I do this, but when I have my hand up flat it will look normal. I'd much rather that personally. So yeah, that's definitely one of the best tips I have learnt, because the biggest giveaway of a self tan or a bad self tan is the hands and the feet, which is really hard. I definitely don't always get it right, but if you can perfect those areas, your tan's gonna look super beautiful and really natural. So now going on to what is, honestly, it's definitely my favorite loving tan product at the moment. I've kind of been a little bit more natural with my tan lately. I've been embracing more of my natural skin color, but when I just want a bit more of a golden glow, this is honestly perfect, and this is what I've been reaching for to tan lately. I haven't even been using the foams, so if you're wanting something a little bit more natural, this is also a good place to start if you are a beginner, because it's not going to be quite as full on as the foaming tans. But that being said, it does actually deliver results. So I'm sure I'm not the only one that's used those supermarket gradual tanners like the Dove one, and I don't know, there's some more brands out there, and whenever I used to use those, it literally never did anything. Like, I could not see a change in color really at all, or if I did, it was so minuscule. But with this guy, you are going to see results literally so quickly. So this is a nourishing tinted body lotion, and what I find is I can just kind of put this on. It dries pretty fast as well, and then I can just head straight out the door. It doesn't transfer on my clothes or anything like that, and it doesn't have like a strong overpowering fake tan scent by any means, so it's just really easy. Sometimes I'll put this on before I go to bed, and it's not too sticky or anything. It dries pretty fast, and then I'll wake up and I'll just have a nice little hint of color. So as you can see, like, it's not a huge difference, but it does just provide a bit of a glow. And the other thing I love is that it's actually really moisturizing. It feels amazing on the skin. It's enriched with antioxidants, no alcohol, so it won't dry out your skin, and it is buildable. So you can use it over a period of days to maintain that glow. Or another time I love using it is just to give my tan, if I'm using the 2 Hour Express, a few days later, if I'm noticing it's starting to fade a bit or I want a bit of a boost, then you can put this on and it will help extend the life of your tan, just help it to be a little bit deeper. And also, because it is so moisturizing, it's going to help your skin not to get all dried out and really prolong your tan. If you're looking for something that's gonna really make that tan pop in photos and something that's gonna give you a gorgeous glow, particularly for events or special occasions, then this guy would be what you want to pick up for sure. This is something that I definitely do not use every day. It's not a fake tanner as such, but after you wear it, it is gonna come off in the shower. But what it's amazing for is just to apply to like your décolletage area, your collarbones, your legs, your arms, anywhere you want to have a beautiful golden glow. This makes you look incredible in photos and just has such a beautiful yet natural, just gorgeous golden glow to it, and just such a beautiful shine. This will definitely make your skin glow like no other. So I always get a lot of questions with people asking me, how do you make your fake tan last? How do you avoid it going patchy? How do you avoid it fading and coming off? And honestly, you can't really stop any of those things from happening eventually. And the reason why is because after you fake tan, you can't just, your skin's not just gonna look like that for the next year. Your skin naturally sheds. It's super weird, but our skin is shedding all the time. So just naturally in about a week, your skin will shed and have like a new cycle of skin come through, and that'll be when it's time to reapply a new self tan. But that being said, you can definitely do things to extend the life of your tan. So what I like to do firstly is something you don't always think about when it comes to self tanning, but I try to drink a lot of water. And the reason for that is because you want to nourish your body from the inside out. And when you're making sure you're hydrated on the inside, that's going to directly reflect on your skin on the outside. To extend the life of my self tan, I also make sure I don't use any lotions with any fragrance or alcohol in them, because what that's going to do is it's really going to dry out your skin. So I just use the Vaseline moisturizer. It works well for me. So I'd really recommend going for a moisturizer that's more natural, like very hydrating, but something that doesn't have a lot of scent or fragrance or additives to it, because if it has alcohol or fragrance in it, that is going to be something that will eat away and literally break down your tan. So that is a surefire way to make sure your tan does not last. But it's such an easy mistake to make, and so many people don't know about it. So the other thing that can eat away at your tan is definitely perfumes. They contain a lot of chemicals and fragrance and alcohols. Or what I like to do when I will still use a perfume is I will spray it more so just on my clothes and in my hair, but I'll make sure to avoid like my chest area and my arms because I know that will seriously impact my tan and break it down, and I don't want that if I'm putting in all this work. Also, wear more loose clothing. If you're wearing like super constricting, really tight fitting clothing all of the time, that's gonna rub against your tan as well. But when it comes down to it, some people just hold tan better than others. We all have different skin types. If you've got super dry, flaky skin, your tan is unfortunately not going to hold up super well because it just won't be able to have like a nice application. It will start getting patchy because your skin will be getting dry. But if you use a really intensive hydrating moisturizer and drink lots of water, like I said, you definitely should be able to help this. Whereas if you're someone who has more of an like normal to oilier skin, then your tan is probably going to last longer. But all in all, I'd say a loving tan for me lasts at least a week when I take care of my skin, so at least 7 days. It's usually around 7 to 10 days. So that brings me to the end of this loving tan video. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. I really do appreciate you watching it, and leave me a question down below if you've got any comments, questions, concerns, anything at all. Just leave it down below and I'll make sure I respond to you. I hope you all have a fabulous week, and I will see you in my next upload. Bye!